I promise this is not going to happen in class. We're not going to be doing this. I wondered if people walked in, saw it, and said, let's get out of here. But we're going to get to this. You're probably familiar with it, where this is going to go. But I do want to start by talking about some of the worst jobs in the world. So you don't even know because you probably haven't experienced it yet. But let's just go with what do you think is probably the worst job in the world? What's the worst kind of jobs?
Sewer cleaning.
Sewer cleaning. Yeah. I just want you to know, I am a super smell. Anybody a super smeller? You smell things like extremely strong when you smell them, whether it's good or bad. Yeah, me too. I cannot handle the smell of sewer. In fact, I couldn't even change my kids' diapers growing up. I was like, when they were growing up, I was like, oh, because I'm a super smeller. It got me bad. So sewer cleaning.
Ian gave me this idea. Solicitors.
Solicitors?
Yeah.
Because it's bad for the people that they knock on their doors? Or, yeah.
Bad for both of them.
But bad for everybody.
Being fun.
When you know that the person's going to hate you already, you're like, this is not good there. Mia, and Beverly, we're going to learn names. I'm with y'all, so, and Dannon, and you're going to be in a second.
Working at one of those cheap fast food.
Ooh, well, I disagree about that. You've got to probably get a deal there. Has anybody ever done any fast food work? Don't get out of that. Yeah, you're probably right, though. Working at a fast food restaurant, it probably is not a pleasant job. And then, my man, meteorologist of the future. Your name is?
Ian.
I was going to guess Ian. Okay, Ian. Ian, what's the bad job?
Skyscraper cleaning.
Well, that sounds fun.
That's
Oh, an endless job. Oh, we locked people out. This is not a good start for class. Sorry, we weren't trying to lock y'all out. We were just trying to lock everybody else in. Wait, hold on. I want to talk about skyscraper cleaning. We're talking about worst jobs, just so y'all know. What's wrong with skyscraper cleaning? It's an endless job.
It's just like, so I like the weather, right?
Yes.
When I'm close to the clouds, like the tall clouds, no.
Yeah.
I like to observe from the ground.
Observe from the ground. Ooh, there's a message there.
Always a chance that it might be windy.
Yeah.
That's true. Does anybody know any stats on people falling who were cleaning skyscrapers' windows? Yeah, let's not look it up. Okay, we're moving around. I'm gonna get you in a minute because we got some other people. We're talking about worst jobs. We've never had these jobs. We just assume that they're probably the worst.
People who service porta potties.
Yeah, which is pretty much the sewer business. And I just tell you something. How do you do that? How do you do that? I was wondering, what do you do?
Grow up thinking.
Oh man, yeah, that's not fun. That's not a fun job. Okay, where are we at? Oh, Dannon, were you going to share one?
The chances of someone falling off while cleaning a
Oh.
skyscraper is like 36%.
Circling back.
36.
36%. Did you make that up? Wow. Yeah, I didn't look up that stat recently, so. Hey, everybody, from now on, when you share something about a job, you have to make up a stat to share with it. So, anybody else have a job that they want to share and a stat? You have to make up a stat.
Make up a stat too.
Yeah.
I would say teacher, 100% say 6, 7.
100% say 6, 7. Oh, yeah, that's good. Hey, I killed that in my youth group because I used it. And now the kids are like, be quiet. You. So that's how you do that. All right. Question number 2. What did y'all talk about before this? Anybody remember? All sorts of. Our identity in Christ. Okay, cool. That's cool.
12, verse 24.
Ooh, yeah, I've been there before. Recently. Okay, good. Y'all feeling good about that? That's not what we're sharing tonight. I was just kidding. Actually, yeah, it is a little bit. Any pro wrestling fans in here? You know, there's a few of us still out there. When I was a kid, I watched pro wrestling. That says a lot about me. Now you guys are like, this guy is a joker. Who is he? I watched a lot of pro wrestling, and back several years ago, it was 2002, I got the opportunity to go to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of pro wrestling. It is, for some of you who don't like sports, it is, somebody give me a analogy to use here or whatever. What is it? It is like, what's the greatest thing you could possibly do in? It is Broadway. You're on Broadway, and it's a big deal. Pro wrestling, WrestleMania. So I went to WrestleMania. I'm an adult. I'm 38 years old, and I am going to WrestleMania. I love it. When I was a kid, I watched a lot of it. I'm going to share something. First, I want to share this. I forgot I had slides. This is WrestleMania. That's actually the one I went to. How cool does that look? There's a star. I'm supposed to be amazing, you guys, right now. Yeah, it's a big deal. I know, right? There were a lot of people that wrestled that night, none of which you'd know their names. And honestly, I didn't know many of them either. So, yeah, what's up?
Where does this WrestleMania take place?
This was in Arlington, Texas at AT&T Stadium. Oh, it was awesome. So I got the opportunity. Somebody gave me tickets to WrestleMania. They said, "Don't you like wrestling?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, age 12, but yeah." And I still do a little bit. And they're like, "Do you want to go to WrestleMania?" And I went, "Yes." I didn't even ask my wife. I just left right then. And it was a week later, so it was weird. No, I'm just kidding. I asked her. If you watch pro wrestling, and it's okay that you don't, if you watch pro wrestling, you will discover that every pro wrestler thinks they're the greatest thing to walk the planet. They really do. Every single pro wrestler. So what they do is, before they fight in their little wrestling match, they come out the entrance to music, and they show off how awesome they are. They'll flex. There's fireworks. There was a lot of fireworks this night. Whoa, there you go. You can see it. They just talk about how awesome they were. We're going to play a little game called, this is Daniel in his wrestling career when I was a child. Here's some pictures I found. Now I'm going to lose the crowd. This is me. I want y'all to play a game called, what is my wrestling name? And what am I doing in this picture? I'm not sure what I'm doing. Yeah, Dannon. Tidy whitey fighty. I love that. I'm just realizing that there's nudity here. We're not supposed to be showing that. Okay, well, it's a shirt off. We're not allowed to see that. But anyway, this is being recorded. I'm sorry. This is just a kid here. Anyway, so here we are, and Tidy Whitey Fighty is a name. What's another name we could take for this wrestler? It can be anything at this point. Yeah. El Blanco. Ooh, I love that. I don't think these are Tidy Whiteys, by the way, Dannon. It was a T-shirt or something. Any other names? Yeah, no, I agree. So when wrestlers come out, they usually say something about how awesome they are. This is The Rock. Anybody know The Rock? Dwayne Johnson. You probably know him from his acting days. Thank you. That's probably another person. But he always said, if you smell what The Rock is cooking, nobody knows what that means. But he also said, it doesn't matter what your name is. Like, the only thing that matters, The Rock. How do you guys feel about that? I don't know. There's another wrestler. You guys are going to hate me by the time this is done. There was another wrestler, Bret Hart, that said, I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I'm like, look at you, buddy. You're not. But yeah, I mean, he's got a cool tank top thing on there. Hulk Hogan, anybody? What you going to do, brother, when Hulkamania runs wild on you like he's the best? Hulkamania. We're going to go through a few more. This guy, Ric Flair, said, to be the man, you got to beat the man, like he's the man. You guys, I'm preparing you for an act, so get ready. It's, what is your wrestling slogan going to be? So get prepared, okay? This guy who nobody knows and nobody cares about, he said he's simply perfect. The haircut's awesome. Simply perfect. All right, two more. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold says, so this is Stone Cold Steve Austin. He said, that's the bottom line because I say so. And whatever I say goes. And then finally, you know him. Cue the music. John Cena, the champ, is here. All right, so here's the game. We're going to take this to 2 levels. You guys are like, this guy is off the rails. I've taught 3 lessons in a row. This is where we're going. What's your wrestling name and slogan? Anybody want to share? Or you can pick on somebody else in the room. No, don't pick on them.
Can we have like a tag team?
I would love a tag team, yeah. Okay, think on that for a minute. She's going, I don't want to be a part of this tag team. All right, anybody have a wrestling? You don't have to have a name, just a slogan or something. What would be your like? You're trying to show people you're the best. Come on, think on it. It's okay. Whatever it is, we're not going to even care. We saw some bad ones.
Does it really matter?
Does it really matter? Ooh, that's good. Kind of scary. It's kind of deep too. Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah. Cute. Cute. Oh, did you say cute or deep? Kind of heat. Okay, that's better than deep and cute, so I feel good about that. What else? Come on.
She said she's the Bevinator.
The Bevinator. Oh, that's good. Man, these are good. Bevinator's cool. I like Bevinator. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't remember what my wrestling name was when I was young. Okay, so here we go. Let's play one more game. We're going somewhere, I swear. Imagine. Jared is your youth minister here. And I don't know if not, you might not all be Linda Rowe people. That's okay. If Jared was a professional wrestler, what would Jared's wrestling name be? I can't wait.
The ball bruiser.
The Ball Bruiser. The Ball Bruiser. Do you know what? Kind of scary, though. Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah. Are you? He just sits there during Bible class. This Ball Bruiser over here.
All right. Flowing locks.
Flowing locks. It's like supposed to be a joke because he's not. But you know what? I don't think I want to fight your youth minister. Aren't some of you as kids? Who's a kid of his? Are y'all both? Okay. I don't think I'd want to fight your dad. Have y'all ever fought your dad? Did you ever have a wrestling match and he taught you a few lessons? Okay. Did he really? Okay, yeah, it makes sense. He's kind Okay, here's where we're going. Here in just a minute, we're going to go to Matthew chapter 20. We're not going to go to John, which I originally pointed to. We're going there. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 20. Professional wrestling is actually a product of our culture. Like, professional wrestling is our culture on steroids, and quite literally, some of that. But it's like who we are, but what we really want to be. We're like, I'm the best there is, the best there was. We don't say that out loud, but pro wrestling's like, yeah, we do. But this is what our culture is. It's always about who's the best, who's got it the best, who's got the most money, the most strength, the most power, the most friends, whatever else. It's all about that. Do you know what Muhammad Ali once said? Does anybody know who Muhammad Ali is? Anybody? Okay, so he's a world famous boxer. And do you know what he said? I am the greatest. I said that even before I was. What does that even mean? But this is like our mentality. We're like, I'm the greatest. I don't even know what that means, but I am. And this is this mentality. And so here's this story. There is more than one incident throughout the Gospels where Jesus' disciples are talking about how great they are. I mean, can you imagine walking around with Jesus all day talking about how awesome you are? I'd be like, oh my goodness. And so on one particular occasion, they're always talking about how great they are. On one occasion, they got their mom involved. So you probably heard this story before. Matthew chapter 20. Who's going to read Matthew 20? I need somebody to read 20 through 24 for me. Okay, my friend, and your name is? Thomas. No, your wrestling name. No, Thomas. Okay, Thomas is going to read. All right, Thomas is going to read Matthew 20. It's on the screen, 20 through 24.
Want me to read my version?
Whatever your version is great. Yep.
Then the mother of the sons of Zebedee came to Jesus with their sons, bowing down and making a request of him. And he said to her, What do you desire? She said to him, Say that in your kingdom these two sons of mine shall sit, one at your right and one at your left. But Jesus replied, You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I am able to drink? They said, We are able. He said to them, My cup you shall drink, and sit at my right and at my left, is not mine to give, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared by my Father. And after hearing this, the other 10 disciples became indignant with the two brothers.
Yeah, okay, so a few things happen in this. I do want to talk about this because it's important. Also, it feels warm in here, so I'm just going to see if we get some airflow going. It might not work, and then we'll bail. But here's the question. The question is, oh, you can keep the window open.
I'm going to open it more.
Oh, okay, I was like, no, don't do that. But yeah, so the disciples are here in this moment, and their mom, two of the disciples' mom gets involved. Raise your hand if your mom has ever got involved at a sporting event. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Was it embarrassing? Okay, does anybody want to share what they may have said or done?
Well, at his game, she
Ooh, boy.
involved if you're not a coach.
Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. Anybody else's mom get too involved with, it doesn't have to be your sporting event. It could be anything you're actually doing and they're trying to get involved in it. And you're like, Mom, stop. Okay, well, this is happening here. This mom comes to Jesus and she says this statement, hey, you should say that these two sons of mine can sit on your right and your left in your kingdom. Okay, what's she talking about? What is the mom looking for here? Anybody have an idea? What do you think?
She wants her sons to be placed in places of high authority in heaven.
Yeah, she's looking at Jesus and she's like, okay, you're about to start a kingdom. You're the king. Okay, let my two sons be right next to you. Like, what would they call the person who's right under the king? Prince? Advisor? Advisor, that's good. She's like, let my son sit there. And this is a weird moment. So this is James and John's mom, and she comes and she's trying to get her boys this place of honor. Jesus explains to her something. This is interesting. He says he doesn't have the authority to make that decision. That actually God has the authority to do that. But then he uses it as a teaching moment because having a place of honor in the kingdom of heaven actually doesn't look like being a professional wrestler. It's not about showing off how awesome you are and being like, check me out, I'm the greatest thing ever. And so here's what happens. Jesus, verse 25, we're going to skip ahead. Jesus uses the moment to teach him. I want somebody else. Will somebody else read the few verses, just 25 through 28 for me? Believe in your heart and it can be done. Okay, here we go. Same reader. Are you the same reader?
Brother.
Oh, y'all are messing with. By the way, you read, Thomas read, and I'm like, you're not Thomas. And we're just going to talk about this for a minute. You're twins, but you're all brothers. But you're not twins. Sheesh, man. You know what? I'll leave you alone. Me and my brother look a lot alike. So, brother of Thomas is? Jeremiah. All right, Jeremiah, would you please read 25 through 28 for us? Thank you, Jeremiah.
But Jesus called them to himself and said, "You know that the rulers of the Gentiles domineer over them, and those in high position exercise authority over them. It is not this way among you, but whoever wants to become prominent among you shall be your servant, and whoever desires to be first among you shall be your slave, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many."
Okay, huge moment. What's interesting, and it's happened in the verses just preceding this, but Jesus tells his disciples, hey, can you drink what I'm about to drink? That actually sounds like something a wrestler would say. But can you drink what I'm about to drink? What is Jesus saying? Does anybody know? Are you able to drink what I'm about to drink? What do you think it means?
He taught. I mean, it's reminiscent of the, let this cup pass from me.
Okay, yeah,
But
sure.
What kind of when we look at that cup in Isaiah, it's
I love it.
the wrath of God being
Ooh.
poured out on those who don't believe. And so it's at least in Gethsemane, it's like Jesus realizes that what he's about to do, if there are people who don't believe in him, they're going to pay the price that he paid.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting thought. So is Jesus saying, I'm about to drink a cup of wrath? I don't know if that's, I'm just wondering, is that what Jesus is saying? What is Jesus going to have to do? Yeah, he's going to be killed. What Jesus is going to go through is actually a huge thing. In fact, we're going to talk about what he teaches them, but he says, are you able to drink that drink? And they boldly say, yeah, we can handle that. And Jesus says, if I'm Jesus, I would say, you have no idea what you just signed up for. But that's not what Jesus says. What does he say? Yeah, you are. He's actually pointing to the way that they will die, that they are going to die for Jesus. They're going to experience that. And he's saying, it's not my authority to give you a place of position, but the cup that I'm going to drink, you're actually going to drink it. And then he says, but that's not even the point. There's something deeper. He says, if you want to be great in the kingdom of heaven, then you have the wrong idea about what it is. And it's not sitting in places of honor. In fact, greatness in the kingdom of heaven is just so counter to anything that we experience. I told you we were going to be talking about washing feet, right? So we are going to talk about washing feet. What is great about washing feet? And have you ever done it? Anybody? Anybody ever washed some feet? What's great about washing feet? Anybody seriously hate feet? Like the idea of feet makes you so sick? Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, nobody likes feet that much. I mean, washing feet is not seem like a place of honor, and so Jesus is actually going to use another message in John chapter 13 to teach his disciples something. But I want to read that one more time, just like Jeremiah read. Whoever of you must be great must be your servant. And whoever would be first among you must be your slave. And even as the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life a ransom for many. So here's what happens. Here's the scene. John chapter 13. Jump over there really fast. John chapter 13. Jesus is at the very end of his life, right before his crucifixion, less than 24 hours until his death, just hours before his arrest, and Jesus is going to use his last meal on earth to teach a really, really, really important lesson. And you maybe have heard this story before. Jesus is gathered at a table with his disciples, and we're going to pick up the story. I don't think I have it. I just put it on. It's a long verse, but you might have to look at your Bibles for this one. In John chapter 13, I'll read this one. Verse 3, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, like all authority had been given to him, and that he had come from God and was going back to God. Like, man, Jesus is going back to God. All authority in his hand. What's he going to do with that? He rose from supper. He laid aside his outer garments, and he took a towel and he tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was wrapped around him. I'm confused, right? And if this is your first time hearing it, you are confused. But if you're familiar with the story, you're like, I know where we're going here. Jesus says this, or Peter says this in verse 6, Lord, are you washing my feet? Like, don't wash my feet. And Jesus answered him, what I am doing you do not understand now, but afterward you will understand. That means after his death, you're eventually going to understand this. Peter said to him, you shall never wash my feet. And Jesus answered him, if I don't wash you, you have no share with me. And so Simon Peter said to him, Lord, then don't just wash my feet. Wash my hands and my head as well. And Jesus said to him, the one who has a bath does not need to wash except for his feet, but is completely clean. And you are clean, but not every one of you. He's actually getting into something much deeper that's going to happen here. But he jumps down to verse 12. When he washed their feet, when he was finished, he put on his outer garments and he resumed his place and he said, do you know what I just did for you? So, do you know what he just did? No, you're good. Do you know what Jesus just did? Anybody have an idea? He said, do you understand what I've just done for you? Verse 13. You walk around all day calling me teacher. You follow me everywhere I go. And you're like, teacher, just tell us what to do, how to live. You call me Lord, and you're right, for I am. Verse 14. But if I, your Lord and your teacher, have washed your feet, you should wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. So I want to talk about this, and I'm going to cruise because we're going to try to be done here soon. But the practice of foot washing or feet washing is not like something we do. It's not like we go, oh, I went over to my friend's house, they washed my feet, then we had some Kentucky Fried Chicken. That just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. But like in this culture, and if you're thinking about it, it's pretty easy to understand. Here are all these people walking these dusty roads, and they've got their sandals on, and then they walk into the home of someone, and the servant of that house, if they had a servant, would wash the feet of the people before they could go forward. If they didn't have a servant, they would wash their guests' feet. Like, this is kind of weird. But also, there is a message here that's like, yeah, welcome to my home. I'm going to show you a sign of hospitality. I'm going to love you. And so I'm going to do this. It's kind of crazy. That's where I start thinking about the most miserable jobs. To me, washing feet has got to be one of the most miserable jobs in this time. Like, it's got to be, right? Like, that doesn't sound fun at all. Who's the person that just has to wash everyone's feet when they come in? Be like, sorry, I put on a lot of miles on my walking today. You better wash these bad boys. I'd be like, no. It's a miserable job. And Jesus gets down from the table and he starts washing everyone's feet. In fact, one of the things that I just want to point to here is sometimes it's easy to believe that the kingdom of heaven is only about doing lowly acts. Like, I'm going to just do the worst possible thing, and that will show that I'm a follower of Jesus. But that's not what Jesus is teaching. He's not teaching that you should just go find the worst job in the world and do it. What is he teaching? I'll let you share for just a minute. Not to find the worst job in the world, but to do what? Just even a little thing. Jesus is not telling his disciples, go get the worst job in the world. What is he saying? It has to do with him serving his disciples and washing their feet. One way to think about this is Jesus is just saying, are you taking care of other people? Do you take care of the needs of other people? They're not like the lowest acts. They're just selfless acts. Like, this is who you've been called to be. And if I, your teacher, your Lord, am doing these things, then you should just do these things too. You should take care of other people too. I've had some friends, and I've known some people who have done some incredibly radical things in their faith. One of my very best friends in college, she moved to Zambia, and she worked in an orphanage. It was really cool. And she worked there for years and years and years, and it was awesome. I have a friend who quit her job to start a nonprofit. And she's like, I just want to do this for the sake of people. And it's awesome. I have another friend who works for an organization where they just feed homeless every Thursday night. These are awesome things. I'm not trying to sell these things short, but I just want you to know, a lot of the time as followers of Jesus, we think we have to do some radically big thing to show that we're following Jesus. But you know what? Jesus really just wants us to do little things that matter with big love. And this is where I want us to go here. This is the point that I hope you hear. Small, humble acts of service shape big, sacrificial hearts. So the point is this. When Jesus told his disciples, you're going to die. Yeah, you're going to drink that cup. But before you ever drink that cup, I just want you to serve. I just want you to do things in love. I just want you to be the type of people that take care of other people. And this is how you do it. And so we live in like this culture with like highlight reels for everything. Everybody's just trying to like get known and be seen, get likes or whatever else it is. But Jesus is actually saying, quit like showing who you are and grab a towel and wash people's feet. Take care of people's needs. This is an awesome message in the kingdom of heaven. And no act for Jesus is too small. This is a really corny story, but it's cool. I love this. So here's the story. In 1961, in NASA headquarters, there was John F. Kennedy was there at NASA headquarters. He's the president of this time, and he's there, and he sees a janitor, and he's cleaning the floors, and it's really, really late, and he said, why are you working so late? To the janitor, and the janitor said, well, Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon. And he's like, and he started thinking about it. He goes, see, if you live your life, do your job, whatever you've been given, but you look at it as like, no, I'm part of something much bigger. Man, it's just an incredible way to see the kingdom of heaven. So for you, picking up the trash in your house seems like such a mindless job, but what you're really doing is being a part of the kingdom of heaven. You're being like your teacher, your Lord. You're being like Jesus. It's an incredible way of doing things. So God cultivates, like he forms in us, these sacrificial hearts by just doing little things. It's just little things. So I'm going to share an example. We're going to just share how we do this really quickly, and then we're going to be done. In the late 1800s, this woman right here, her name is Saint Therese. She was born in the 1800s. She was really young. She had a lot of struggles, a lot of things that she had to go through, and she realized that it felt like nothing she did mattered. I'll just tell you something. There's been some days in my life where I'm like, I feel like nothing I do matters. And she tried so hard to just take care of people and do the right thing. At the age of 15, she became a nun, and she actually died at the age of 24. But St. Therese is remembered, hundreds of years later. People are talking about St. Therese for what she did. In fact, here's why they talk about St. Therese. She looked around and saw herself as small and weak and broken, and she said, you know what? I'm just going to do what I do with as much love as possible. I'm just going to be who I am and not be known and not be acknowledged by people and not be seen by people. I'm just going to do everything I do with a lot of love. And so she would she would set for the table for dinner. And anytime she set the table for dinner, she would imagine that she was preparing a dinner for Jesus to show up. She's like, Jesus is going to be there. And she would do cook dinner, and she was imagining that Jesus and a huge crowd of his followers were coming here. And she said, everything I wanted to do small, ordinary things with extraordinary love. Could you imagine if in your life you're like, you know what? I feel like I'm so useless and weak and broken, but what I'm going to do is just do what I do for the sake of the kingdom of heaven with extraordinary love. And just take what I've been given and just bless other people. And so here's how we do this practically. It starts with the people that we're closest to. You don't go venture off to a different country, number one. You don't go I'm ready to serve other people. I'm going to go to Zambia like the girl I knew did. You say, I'll just take care of the people in my home. And I'm going to serve them. And then I'm going to serve the people in my school or in my youth group. And then I'm going to serve the people in my community. And also I'm going to serve people in the larger area and in the world eventually. But you start with those small acts, and then they start forming a heart that's like, no, yeah, I think I'm ready to do something big for the kingdom of heaven. I think I'm ready to drink the cup, to sacrifice something big. So here are a few just really, really intentional practices, because I'll just tell you something. If I don't hear something intentional, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, thank you for your message on wrestling. So here's what I do. If you all want to develop a heart for service, here's a few things to think about. You should allow more interruptions in your day. Like when people come to you and say, hey, would you help me with this? Or you should be like, yeah, that's cool. When you're walking through the door and you see a crowd coming behind you, you should say, yeah, whatever. Hold the door open, let everybody through, because it's an interruption that you get to do something small with extraordinary love. This is just one of the things you can do. Be a loving presence for others. Don't isolate yourselves in moments. Be like, I'm just going to go run off, do my own thing. No, be a loving presence. Sit with somebody. You don't have to talk. Just let them talk. That's the one thing you can do. Get out of your comfort mindset. Like, oh man, this isn't comfortable for me. Just do something. One of my favorites is this. I had a friend tell me, oh, you doing that see-do? I was like, what's see-do? He goes, you don't know what see-do is? I was like, I don't know what see-do is. And he goes, when you see it, do it. And so if you see a need, just do it. So today, it's going to take 20 minutes maybe for you to leave this room. I bet 5. 5 minutes for you to see a need and just go, I'll just do it. See and do. Like that's just what the kingdom of heaven is about, where Jesus says, you start doing these small things and they start developing a sacrificial heart in you. The world says that greatness means being first. And Jesus doesn't say that. What would you say Jesus would say? I think Jesus does say. He said, you should be last. Like if the world's saying, I'm going to be the best, I'm going to make sure everybody knows who I am, you should say, nah, I'm going to be last and make sure God knows who I am. And that everything I do is serving him. And then things that I would just add to that as we just kind of wrap up. Greatness in the kingdom of God, it doesn't happen on a stage. It doesn't happen on the field. It doesn't happen as you're being lifted up by others. Greatness, truly, if you want to be great in the kingdom of heaven, you should just go do small things with extraordinary love. And then I'll just tell you something. Greatness will follow. It will. Thank you all for your attention. It's warm. We've listened to a lot of messages. I'm going to pray. We're going to eat some fruit snacks, and we'll be done here. God, thank you for today. Thank you for all that you do for us. God, we have hearts that sometimes are full of pride, and we want to be seen for who we are. But God, you see us, and you know us, and you love us. So just help us to do small things with extraordinary love, God, so that you can see us and you can honor us for that. Thank you, God, for your Son who is willing to get down from a table and clean feet so that we would do it too. And we pray this in his name. Amen. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.